Hello there, we are finishing Module 20 today. You've been learning about the working conditions in the late 1800s in all week, and today is the last day that you need to read from the module. So we're going to go to Module 20 again, and then you can go to the table of contents, take you to Lesson 3. We are still in Section 3. Once you click that, you'll see some subtitles there. You can actually go straight down to labor strikes and click on that. It'll take you right where you need to be today. You learned about the unions, the reason that they unionized, and what their complaints were and things like that. Well, in today's lesson, it all comes to a head, and it isn't pretty. These unions go on strike. You've probably heard of strikes before. In fact, I know you have. We learned about it in the first Industrial Revolution. You're going to read this section, scroll through, looking at all the maps and graphics and everything as usual. This one is interactive. It shows major labor strikes in the late 1800s. So you can actually click on these locations here to get more details. There are 5 of them. This one was in Pittsburgh. It's a famous strike you're going to read about today. And just keep scrolling. Make sure you answer the reading checks. This one's multiple choice. You're going to read about the Haymarket Riot, which is one of the most famous events in labor history. These are images from that riot, and you can click on the arrow to see the different ones. And you'll also be reading about the Homestead Strike. That's the one that happened in Pittsburgh. I'll be talking more about that tomorrow. There's a video associated with that strike. Please watch this 4-minute video about the Homestead Strike and answer the reading check there. And then you'll read about the Pullman Strike, another very famous strike in labor history. Analyze this line graph to show the effects that these strikes had on union membership. There is a question that goes along with that graph, so you'll want to answer that. And a reading check at the end there. Again, this graphic organizer that they keep mentioning is down here. If you click on it, that's optional if you want to be keeping notes as you go. If you go to the next page, you'll see a review for this section, and you can go ahead and do that. Just click on the flashcards here, Frederick Taylor. You click it to see who he was, and you can navigate your way through those flashcards. There are 10 of them, just as a good review of the whole section, actually. Some of this you actually read yesterday. And that's it. That's the end of the module. So once you get to the end after that review, you're done reading. As always, there's enrichment at the end if you want to learn more about this topic. There's Mother Jones. She's somebody that you've read about in this section. You can read more about her. No need to do the assignment, but you can read about her. And Pullman's Company Town, you can look at the map showing where Pullman was and read a little bit about that town. So that's it for today. You'll just do the check for understanding. As always, you should always feel free for those checks for understanding. Always feel free to have the online book open while you're answering those questions, because it's sort of like a reading check. I'm not quizzing you to see if you memorized everything. It's really just a reading check. It's really just so you see the important things to pull out. It's the same as if I gave you a textbook and said, read section 1 and answer these questions. You, of course, would not be expected to answer the questions without looking at the information. So please don't feel like you're cheating if you're looking up the answers to those checks for understanding. Those are just formative assessments. I wanted to make that clear and hopefully ease a little bit of anxiety for you if you've been worrying about those. I'll see ya.